Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining today's episode. I've got a special guest along, Chet Buchanan, joining us, the public address announcer and that energetic voice inside Climate Pledge Arena during Kraken games. Today, we're going to talk to Chet, get to know him a little bit better. We're going to talk Seattle hockey and all things Kraken, a little bit about the in-game experience at Climate Pledge Arena. Got the camera rolling, got the audio rolling for today's episode. It's going to be available on all platforms. So over on YouTube, if you're watching the video version, or over on your favorite podcast app, if you're just listening on the audio side, thank you for tuning in. Hope you're having a great day out there. And if you'd be so kind here, as we get going and you want to support the channel, please hit that like button and subscribe. Turn on alerts if you haven't already. I do appreciate the support. So let's get to that interview. Chet Buchanan, the public address announcer for your Seattle Kraken. All right, what's up, Chet? Great to have you here today. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while, a long time, going back a little ways. We finally got the timing to work out. So thanks for being here. How you feeling today?
Pleasure is all mine. I'm super stoked. Are you kidding? The Kraken are on a 6-game win streak. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, bring on the Bruins. Let's do this.
I know, I'm ready. I'm looking forward to that challenge. I was just going to say, can you believe this win streak that they're on and everything that has happened so far in January?
I want to go back 2 weeks ago because we were going into that homestand and it was Calgary, Edmonton, and then the Islanders. And part of what we were talking about was, well, it's that time of the year, and now we're going to find out what this team's all about, and now we're going to see. Yep. And then, not for nothing, we didn't play so well. We didn't do so good a lot. And I was, truthfully, I was a touch worried. I'm looking at it was Calgary Edmonton Islanders, right?
Yep. And we beat the Islanders, but there at the end of December was kind of not great, right?
No, it wasn't great, and it was scary because Calgary and Edmonton, and obviously in the division, and it's like, yeesh, this is not good. And and McDavid with the 5-point night and leaving guys alone in front of the literally, and I felt terrible. Listen, I'm a Philip Grubauer guy, not just because I love being able to, when we introduce him to go Gru and everything, and I love Martin Jones too. Martin Jones has been above and beyond anything that we could hope for. But first of all, I'm a goalie guy. I always root for goalies. I always wanted to play. I loved playing net. When I was a kid, I didn't play on skates a lot, but if we were playing floor hockey and PE or whatever, I've always been a goalie guy. And I was stoked about Grubauer, and I still believe in Grubauer.
Yeah, same here.
ESPN was saying that they were giving their midseason grades, and the team's got a B+, and and they were like, who's class president? And it's Vince Dunn, and then who's the player that's in danger of being the F student, and that was Philip Grubauer, and I just think he gets beat up unfairly. Starting quarterbacks and starting pitchers and leadoff batters and cleanup hitters and starting quarterback. Did I say starting quarterback? Anyway, all those guys are the ones that get too much of the credit and they get too much of the blame. And that Edmonton game, they hung Gruby out to dry, and it was like, oh my God, this is awful. Well, then, okay, now we come back around against the Islanders. Things are good. And then, these last few nights have been fantastic. Everybody's having a blast. Forsland's having a blast. Everett and Dave are having a blast. Edzo, JT, the guys in the studio, everybody at home, we're all having a great time.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what happens against Boston.
I know. Mm-hmm. I've been kind of just going out of my mind during the games. I have a little bit of a calmer approach. That's, kind of my vibe over here, but sure. It's been very exciting. Second year as a franchise, 24-12-4 now. Like we've said, 6-game heater. It's crazy. As bad as December was, November was pretty good, but maybe felt like unsustainable type of situation. But this little tweak and adjustment that they've made here coming into January feels a little bit more like a sustainable version of hockey, right? Maybe not so much the scoring, but
everybody was talking about how great the defense was. Everybody was saying how the defense has really improved. It's a lot. It's got a ways to go to catch up to the offense, but the defense is so much better. And all the guys were talking about how the defense was effort based, and that you've really got to skate hard to play Hackstall's D. And then it was funny because then right after everybody was talking about that, And I think it was Jamie Alexiak that where I had read that it was talking about it. Hey, if your legs aren't just completely burning after every shift, you're probably not playing the defense right.
Yeah.
Well, then we go to Calgary and then especially Edmonton, and there's just guys standing out in front of the net all by themselves, like making a sandwich and
setting up camp.
Yeah, having a beer, and then now I got the puck, and I'll just sit, and I've got the goal. I got the the keeper dead to rights.
Right. Like, hey, McDavid, where do you want to put the tent? Do you want to put the tent over? Where do you want the hammock? Where do you want, And
it was really tough, and it was scary. It really was scary. And then these last few nights, and you can really tell that the effort is there. I don't proclaim to be a hockey expert, but I'm a huge hockey fan, and I've been a fan for my whole life. Dude, I don't mind saying it. I don't always, it sucks getting old, but I go, when I was a little kid, I was a Totems fan. I started, and by the way, if you want to know, Bruce Bullock was number 35, Dan Brady was number 30. They were the goalies. First player I ever met was Jim Mayer. He was a defenseman, number 6. I mean, that's where I start. Pretty cool story that when I met Todd Lewicki, we somehow started talking about the building. We started talking about hockey. Started talking about where it started.
Yeah, and the roots kind of origination story for you.
We were up there on the press bridge, and we were kind of looking down. We were just in their area where he watches the games. He's not a sweet guy. Todd's a fan too. Yeah. Todd's been at every
fan of the
level.
People.
Yeah, he really is. And I like him a lot. And I'm not just saying that because he's the boss. Like, literally, I like him a lot. Victor DeBonis is one of my favorite people. He's the COO for everybody who doesn't know. He's one of my favorite people. Literally, I'm happy. I see him coming down the hallway the other way, or he comes and checks in with us most games. And, which that never happens. But, he's like he's one of my favorite guys. We've got good people in this organization. And anyway, so Todd and I are talking, and somehow we start talking about my first game ever. And I was like, yeah, it's crazy, because I'm standing there kind of going, wow, I'm standing here with the CEO watching NHL hockey in the building. And I point down and I go, yeah, my first game right down there. And I could point to the seats right that my dad got us seats a couple rows back by the penalty boxes. And I'm like, yeah, right down there. And it was Seattle Totems, Salt Lake City Golden Eagles still have the program. I should have hauled it out to show it to you. But I still have the program.
That's a great story. I attended a few Thunderbirds games in the Key Arena as well, so a little bit of a different setup. Not the Totems, obviously, but definitely.
People don't remember. I was a part of the Thunderbirds organization for better part of a decade. Did all the on ice stuff. Terry Ryan, who is the on-site engineer for the Kraken audio broadcasts with Everett and Dave and Mike Benton, he does all the audio engineering. Terry Ryan was the PA guy for the Thunderbirds, and I was the on ice. I did on ice between periods when it's kind of a new thing. We just kind of did it. We were like, there's some stuff. You want to go out and do it. Where that started was Terry used to call me when I was doing nights on Cube, and they were playing back in Mercer Arena. Terry used to call the request line, and because between periods at the old Mercer Arena, they would play the radio. Because you didn't really, I think they had music that they played during the games. I think, because Terry would do it while he was doing PA. But then he would go, hey, we've got Cube on between periods. Say hi, give us a shout out. And so I'd be like, hey, everybody in Seattle Center Arena, Thunderbirds are beating the snot out of Kamloops right now. Somebody make some noise. And that's how that whole relationship started. So, to be able, I don't think you truly, and by you, I mean everybody who's watching this, I've kept my emotions in check for over a year now. But to talk about this right now, I don't think you understand how much it means. I don't think you understand truly how, I get to be, I'm going to lose it right now. I get to be the PA guy for, which is all I've ever wanted to be, for an NHL team in Seattle. It's mind blowing.
Really remarkable stuff. And, I can hear the emotion coming through. It's really cool, a dream in motion right now for you, Chet, and really, that's great. I thank you for expressing that. And I think everybody that goes to the games and even watching the broadcasts and hears you and the passion that you bring and the energy that is in the building, it's off the charts. And you've done an amazing job, not just saying that, to make you feel better about yourself or anything like that. It's a genuine compliment. I've heard it from so many people. We go to a ton of games in the communities, just loving what you're doing out there. So, thanks for bringing your kind of unique angle and story here today.
Give me goosebumps.
It's just cool. So a lot of us are kind of getting to live out these lifelong dreams, and maybe on my side, smaller capacity, always kind of wanted to have a team in the market. I always wanted to dabble with, YouTube or podcasts or whatever, and really just talk with people like we're doing right now out in the community, do some positive things, partner with groups in the community and other channels and things like that, and just talk hockey and have a great time. But yeah, anyhow, thanks a lot for being here today. Better.
Yeah, we're the luckiest guys on the planet. Are you kicking me out already? Are we done?
No. I was just
sounded like you were wrapping me up. I was like, all right, I don't know. By the way,
no, never. Oh, there we go. Okay, so
Salt Lake City Golden Eagles and Seattle Totems, 1975. I wasn't born yet. I was in the womb when I'm just
That's
kidding.
Cool. Okay, we're definitely going to have you send that over because I'm putting that in the broadcast for sure. Okay. Now, you won't be able to see it on the listening side if you're going to listen on your podcast app.
Sorry, suckers.
Out there, but you got to go over to YouTube if you want to see the program. I will describe it to you, but if you want to see it, you got to get over to YouTube.
Do it right. For those of you who are listening, you're missing all this. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so real quick here, a little bit more lead in. Last year, I actually talked with your predecessor, Joshua Hunter. He did a great job. Totally different style. And also a unique story there and his time with the organization. But I did learn a lot from that conversation, just some of the unique challenges and things that a public address announcer is dealing with and performing, kind of being part of the whole ambiance and experience. But obviously you stepped in, I think it was late December, early January 1st, right? And
January 1st.
Like I said, right away, that energy in the building, it just continued to get better and better as the in-game experience kind of evolved. But I don't know, maybe what kind of led you to that day and that moment?
Well, and first and foremost, Josh and I have never spoken. I would love to one day. All I ever hear is what a great guy he was. And I know it was meaningful for him too.
Absolutely.
And there, I carry that as a responsibility. I can't let him down either. You know what I mean? It's like, I can't suck. You know what I mean? Like that guy got his shot too. And there's a lot of, and I don't honestly, and that's all I'll say about that really is just that, it was interesting because we had auditions and I thought I had done really well. I think at one point there were just different, you're going through these first things. And I think people don't realize how difficult that is to really decide what it is that you want and how that all looks, how it all looks in the end, how it all looks in the end game. Josh is a great PA announcer. It just, they wanted something a little different and to go with the presentation that we were doing. I just think that was where I ended up being. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. All I know is we it was kind of a funny thing. So they started out and they said, we're going to have auditions. And I know there's a lot of really good guys in Seattle.
Right. Yeah.
It was something I was interested in, but I thought, well, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. And then they posted it again. And I went, okay, I'm going to go.
Throw the hat in.
I'm going to go. And I threw the kitchen sink at. There was a prior relationship because Johnny Greco, who was originally I don't know what that title is, but he was basically in charge of the show,
Right.
and Aaron Sakara was calling the games, and behind the scenes, she was kind of basically the show director.
Mm-hmm.
I knew them. I knew them because I had also auditioned for the Golden Knights, and it didn't happen. And what's really kind of funny is that when I went in to audition for Vegas, I went in doing hockey. We are going to do hockey because in hockey we're serious and we're very and I wore a suit. I wore a suit because that's what we do in hockey. We wear suits. Yes. And I went in and I threw a little hot sauce at it. I threw a little fire at it, but it was pretty I guessed, I gathered, because I've done Vegas sports for a long time, primarily UNLV because that's all we had. But I've been involved with the Las Vegas Bowl for years. I've done NASCAR at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for years. And a lot of the big events, I've done a lot of that stuff. USA basketball for a long time. A lot of the big holiday tournaments, where the top ranked teams come in and play each other and stuff like that. So I've done a lot of that. And so I kind of felt that there was some of that was kind of probably already out there. So I did serious with the Golden Knights, which couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which couldn't have been more opposite of what they needed. And like I said, I think I gave them a little bit of fire, but
maybe more like Taco Bell medium sauce instead of like ghost pepper. Chet Buchanan.
And God bless Johnny, who I love like few other people on this planet. But he looked at me and he goes, "Hey, listen, man, I know you've been an in-arena host for a long time. Are you sure that's not what you want to do?" And I was like, "No, I want to be a PA announcer." Because I was like, I've done enough of the, because I was kind of just over doing in-arena at that point, even though I still do it a lot and I enjoy it, but that's not what I wanted to do in this case. Right. And and I couldn't have been more wrong. So then, and I felt a little weird because there was already a prior relationship with Johnny. And so, so then I reached out and I said, "Hey, is this something, would you be interested in me being interested?" And they were like, "Yeah, I would." So then I sent the kitchen sink at it. Literally, I sent them my entire career, like everything I had. And then got an email. I was coming back from hosting another event, and I'm sitting at a stoplight. And you know how your phone, it's like, "Oh, I got an email. Oh, yeah, sitting at the stoplight. I've got a minute." And I look and it's like, "Hey, guess what? Auditions are tomorrow at 3:00. So I got home 15 minutes later, booked a flight. I got home here to Vegas, booked a flight, did my radio show the next morning, flew to Seattle, went straight to not to CPA, to to Iceplex. And
Kraken Community Iceplex.
Kraken Community, KCI. Yeah. Went straight to KCI, bought a Kraken polo in the gift shop. Perfect. In the team store there. And then went in, and quite honestly, probably went the wrong way there too, because I went straight fire. I tried to, I pulled, like, imagine a Matty Beniers goal in overtime.
Okay.
That was me. That was me introducing the C Squad in the, it's just like totally over the top. Yeah. It's completely over the top, but that's what we were at KCI, and there was probably a dozen of us. And I just went, well, they've got to know that I can do regular, that I can just do regular stuff. But I don't know what I was thinking then. I was so wound up, and I was and then we're getting down to it, and I hadn't heard anything, and I was pretty sure, you've got to have at least a little bit of confidence, I think, to be any good at this job. And so I was waiting for a phone call that never came. And so I reached out to Johnny. It was the week of, and I was like, hey, and it was like, yeah, we're going another direction. Damn it. All right. And then it wasn't too long after that it's really uncomfortable talking about, again, because of Josh. And we wanted to be
Sure.
just and I want to be every bit as respectful as possible, because it just, honestly, it but I got the call, and we decided to make a move on New Year's Day. And again, the other cool part, I mean, I've been a Vancouver Canucks fan before I was a fan of anything else, because I loved hockey first. And it was the coolest. Harold Snepps was a guy that played for the Seattle Totems that got called up, and I don't know what possessed me to know that at 6 years old. But just got called up to the Canucks, and that was a big deal. And I lived and died through a lot of really great days and a lot of really bad days, with the Canucks. And so for my very first game to be against Vancouver, who we still never beat, and that must change soon.
Gotta happen soon.
I still have a lot of my Canucks stuff, only because I can't get rid of it. You know what I mean? Because I put my heart into, Roberto Luongo is Trevor Linden was like,
right.
If Linden, I would be starstruck. I would be, and I don't get starstruck. I would be starstruck with Trevor Linden. I have a Ryan Walter stick from the Vancouver Olympics. You know what I mean? And all of that kind of stuff.
Wow.
So like but I'll never wear the Canucks stuff again, obviously. And now that I've said it publicly, I probably got to get rid of it.
We can edit that out too. I grew up a Sharks fan, so I've got a ton of Sharks stuff.
Oh God,
jerseys.
how?
Yeah.
How did that happen? I need answers.
Okay, so kind of an interesting story. We used to have one of the old C-band satellites, the big rotating, right? And we would pick up the KICU 36 out of San Jose channel. So Dad was a big Canucks fan, and I had to pick a team. And for whatever reason, we could always get that channel. It was there's no commercials or anything like that happening. So that's the team I picked and fell in love with them. And the rest is kind of history from there. So that's how I became a Sharks fan. So you're a Canucks fan originally. I'm a Sharks fan originally. Everybody knows it now. Not a big secret, right? But
if there's one thing that I've always been, it's a Seattle kid. And everybody knows that. Anybody who's listened with a radio show for even half a second or has come across or knows me at all knows I'm a Seattle kid. I've been a Husky fan, since birth, a Seahawks fan since birth, or since the Seahawks came in. I guess I was born before the Seahawks. That's how old I am. Mariners. I live and die with the. I live and die with the. It's old. I live and die with the Mariners. And this is. I'm just. You saw it earlier. What this means. I am a firm believer that I did not get the Golden Knights gig at the time because I wasn't meant to. I was supposed to be here. We literally, and I'm not trying to get too crazy about it. But that's why I didn't get that. Was so that I could,
right.
So that I could, because who knew? And even at the time, there were no Kraken. There weren't going to be other teams.
No.
And here we are. And just, I couldn't be more grateful. I couldn't be every single time going across the 520 bridge and then going into downtown Seattle and in the jog, and any East Side kid, you come off the bridge and you got to get over 3 lanes and get over to Mercer, to get to the exit where it used to be the Fuzzy Wuzzy Rug Company as you came off the exit and went into downtown Seattle, and then to go up and every time I drive by it, it's the arena's still there in my head. Mercer Arena is still there every time. And then to walking into that building, I hope never ever question it. Look at me, I'm emotional again about it. Because I've remained focused, a lot of it. There were a few times last year where I was trying way too hard. I was trying way too hard. and really needed to just kind of relax with it a little bit. I was gripping the stick, in hockey parlance.
Yeah.
But but now it's just straight. Now it's just straight fun. It's just straight.
Just having fun.
Yeah.
Settled in, loving every minute. This is great,
the greatest.
And the emotion comes through again, and I can see why, because like I said, kind of living out that big dream here at this point, and Kraken having some success. So that makes it even more fun. And everybody's excited about it. Really cool stuff. Great story. I just real quick too, I wanted, before we get too far, the legend of the Undefeated sign. I don't know if you've caught on to this, but it kind of became a thing. Had the daughter, and she brought a friend. First time that friend had been to a hockey game ever, but they came up with the sign, and I have it over here behind me. So it's and they got up on the Twins. So there it is. I don't know if you can see it, but
okay,
Kraken Undefeated.
Yes, I know that's
in 2020. So we're definitely getting some mileage out of this thing. It's kind of, become a thing over on Twitter, but we're kind of hoping that we keep it going so that the next time we get back over there, she can still carry it around. But cool stuff. And it's cool to see the new fans getting excited about hockey and younger fans. It's just been really cool to see the younger people getting excited about it.
Knowing with all of that, to me, Seattle does have a rich hockey history. And then, and then the Kraken bringing back the Ironmen, and there's an nod to the Metropolitans. We've got a Stanley Cup banner in our rafters and all of that. It was surprising to me a little bit how, and also with the silver tips, you can't not mention the tips. Got a great fan base, the old school Tacoma Rockets fan base, all of that. So to me, Seattle has a rich hockey history that I was surprised for, that there were still a lot of the shoot, and we're super excited every time somebody slams into the boards because we think they might fight. that there were those fans. I really appreciate John Forsland. And my God, people, you don't understand what we have. Forsland and JT, who's come such a long way, and now with Eddie O, and with Edza, and not for nothing. If there's a better radio team than Everett and Dave, and I'm not just saying that because I love those guys on a personal level, but I mean, if there's a better radio team than them, bring them to me, because I'm not sure who it is. I mean, and there's a lot of really great broadcasters in the NHL, but man, we've got great broadcasters. But I really love, and in general in Seattle, we've always been blessed with great play-by-play guys. But the one thing that I love is that John will slow down to explain it to people. Like, okay, if you don't fully, for some of our newer fans, this is why this happened. And Allison Lukin, the job that Piper Shaw is doing, and the guys in the studio, and Nicholchek's going to be, now how great is Nicholchek going to be one of these days? He's good. He's really good. The guy's going to be great, just great. And just literally everybody else, top to bottom, the job that they're doing is insane. But it is fun, to your point. It's fun with all the new fans, and it's really a good time. And then the other longtime fans too that just love having NHL hockey here.
Yeah, like you pointed out, just the depths of riches that we have on the broadcast side, up and down. That lineup it's been amazing, and also kind of echoing. Really do hope that people in Seattle realize just the level of talent that's coming through on the broadcast, on the audio side, the video side, the analyst side, the pregame, postgame, all that stuff. It's been amazing. I've been watching hockey my whole life, and to have that type of crew in the second season, on a regional sports network, it's just unreal. It's really amazing that they've been able to kind of assemble that and do what they've done. But good stuff. And, I also want to talk a little bit about, you've already kind of gone down into this a little bit. Obviously, the connection there with Las Vegas and working for 98.5 KLUC, been doing that for quite a while. Maybe a little bit of a day in the life of Chet Buchanan. You've been doing that show since 1999, if I read correctly, the Chet Buchanan show.
Correct. Yeah, and
UNLV, the Running Rebels basketball games. There are all sorts of appearances and events. You're just busy, very busy person. But yeah, before we go too far, I kind of wanted to just, what's a day in the life of Chet when you wake up? What time are you waking up? What time do you hit the studio, et cetera?
The thing that I love, I also love is that, so to bring the story full circle. So I have, I've been in Vegas since 99, but, but I've been a Seattle guy for life. And, my family kept the farm, and my dad had me when he was older. So he was like, my dad was almost 40 when I was, so he's older. And, as the years went by, my dad always thought, well, you'll sell the farm. You won't keep the farm. You won't. And I kept telling him, no, I'm going to keep the farm. So as he got older and he, slowing down more and more, it was obvious that I needed to be in Seattle more. So going back to 2017, so we started negotiating, and I built a studio in Duval at the farm, and I started amassing gear, and we started putting this together then. So I started spending a little, it was a little bit of time, and then a little more. And so, and finally we go into these negotiations in 2019. My contract was up at the end of 2018 to 2019. And I said, I need to be able to do 2 weeks out of the month from Seattle. Okay. And they were like, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to let you do that. I went, okay, I quit. So I'm out, because my family is more important, and I need to be at the farm. We need to do it. We need to do this. So then finally they were like, okay, we'll do it. And then COVID hit, and everybody was broadcasting from home. TV people were broadcasting out of their living room, and it was hilarious because it was so bad. And in the radio thing, actually, this setup that I've got right now, this was the first setup, because we were still there in Vegas, and I was driving back and forth. I was driving to Seattle every other week to be at the farm,
Gotcha.
because my dad passed in 2017, and then his wife passed in 2019, and we've got this farm, and there's a guy that worked for my dad for a number of years, and he's still there, and so we had work to do, and we had a farm to take care of and keep up and look after, not let just deteriorate. So I've been going back and forth. This isn't new. What I love about the Kraken schedule makes us be consistent with it. So here in Vegas, I get up at 3:30 because I still have to shower and maybe go into shower and go into the station and be around other people. Right. So you actually have to get ready in the morning. If I'm in Duval and it's Kraken game day, I'll sleep till 4:30, because all I have to do is put on sweats and then go upstairs above the garage to the studio. And in Seattle, if it's a Kraken game day, we rehearse for 3 hours every day, and you've got every game day, and you've got to kind of dance around the NHL. Yeah, the NHL they have the ice for a certain amount of time. The ice crew has the ice for, they have priority for a certain amount of time. So we've got to fit what we do into that. So on a game day, the show will be done at 10. I'll relax, maybe take a nap, get something to eat. And then by about 12, then I go to the shower, get dressed. If you ever come in, and by the way, come and see me at section 117. We're up there on the 88, on the 100 level, on the one level, the Alaska Airlines atrium level. I don't even know how to describe it, but we're at 117, and you can come and see me. I'd love to say, I'll take pictures with you, whatever. I love all that stuff. And then at about 12:45, I leave. I get to CPA around 1:30. We start rehearsal at 2. We rehearse till about 4:30, and then it's food, and then I go over to KEXP. I get a mint tea with honey. Our showrunner gets mint tea with honey. Our other show director, LB, gets black coffee with oat milk, and then I get tea or coffee for the people that work the door, that that are going to let me back in, but those are my people. You know what I mean? So I take care of my people,
Right.
And then I get a hot chocolate with whip for my buddy DJ, who's our usher there at 117, because I got him addicted to it. Now he can't live without it. And so, that's my thing. And I go over, and that's part of the prep. That's part of the routine. And then we kick ass, crack and win. Angelica interviews the first star, whoever she ends up being able to grab, that's crack and win. Then I say goodnight, Seattle, and we throw it back up to Strawberry at the deck, and then see you later. And then I'm home.
Great.
And then I'm usually home 10:30, 10:45. Usually.
That's not too bad. Not too bad.
It's not terrible.
Then you can wake up again at 3:30 the next day, right? So.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm in Seattle, so I get to sleep till 4:15, 4:30.
Oh, that's right. A little extra time there. So it sounds like the secret to the voice and the energy is definitely that tea with honey in it, right? So that's what keeps the pipes ready to go when you're announcing the game that evening, right?
I grew up playing sports, and I love routine. I love I love routine. Is really what it is, and and I kind of like to have my stuff the same way every time, and so that's helpful for me.
It's good, kind of that almost like a ritual, game day ritual. You hear about this a lot with athletes and in the preparation and getting ready for the game, everything like that. So, that's great. And you touched on it real quick, but I do want to just rewind just a little bit. The toy drive that you do, because this is really, really cool, Chet. And I don't know if a lot of people in the Seattle market know that are just average Kraken fans or not, but if you could illuminate it just a little bit, like you said, you do live on top of scaffolding for 12 days straight to raise money and toys for children for the holidays. This year, I think I saw on one of the headlines, $250,000 donation. I mean, that's just incredible. If you want to talk about that a little bit, I'd love to hear some more.
Yeah, which ended up being part of almost $750,000 that we ended up doing in cash and gift cards. This year we did just shy of 9,000 bikes, and
Wow.
and somewhere we really trucks filled our super objective. I don't get too wound up about trucks necessarily, but it's really funny. Also, right next to that Totems program picture that I showed you, I may or may not have showed you earlier. This my first job was at KO in Everett, and my literal first job washing that van.
Oh, it's like an A-team van.
Yeah. But my first job was at KRKO, but when I played top 40 music back in the day. So Toy Drive's a funny thing. Again, Seattle kid, it's in this kind of full circle. When I was a little kid, I had this thought, and I'm not sure why. I really couldn't tell you why. I think it had something to do with there was a morning DJ on KYYX back in the day. His name was Terry McDonald, and he got caught while he was climbing Mount Rainier, and a storm blew in, and he ended up being up there for 2 or 3 days. And I remember they brought him back down, and I think somehow they ended up raising money for charity because of it. And it's for whatever reason that stuck with me. That story stuck with me. I was a huge KJR fan growing up. Huge. KJR was my life. And then King a little bit too. Again, that's how old I am. But then when Cube came on, I really fell in love with Cube. And to work there too was really just me to be able to say, hey, and on the shores of Lake Washington at 53, a Cube 93 Seattle that's just amazing. But I always had this idea. So between the fountain and CPA and what used to be the food circus, it's now the Armory.
Right. Yep.
There's a grassy area. There's a patch of grass. There's the park area where they had when Kurt Cobain passed. That's where everybody gathered there. They had the big thing there. And so when I first came to Vegas, we were sitting down and we were just talking about stuff to maybe try and make, just try and make an impact, splash. And I didn't want to be stunty. You do the stunt, it's one day, maybe someday, maybe, as long people go, yeah, remember that idiot who did that thing? Think of how many stunts you might remember.
Yeah.
You remember it, but you don't remember it. You might remember the person's name. So I said, hey, I've always, and the question came up, was there something that you've always wanted to do? And I took that quite literally, as opposed to just, for years I've wanted to do something. No, I said, when I was a little, and I recounted that story. And so that was really the birth of Toy Drive. And over the years, we've done it 24 years now. We've done, best guess is somewhere between 50 and 60 million in toys and cash and gift cards. And I'm ridiculously proud that John Moog, who's Angie Mornings now on Star 101.5 in Seattle, grew up in Vegas. And his first job in radio was at KLUC. We worked together. And he loved Toy Drive and just did his first Toy Drive this year in Seattle. And it was so reminiscent, but I was so jealous, because his scaffold was so nice. He's already gone year 24 in terms of scaffold. His living area was too good. Honestly, it was too good because you really need to suffer a little. You gotta suffer a little. You have to. And listen, I'm spoiled now compared to years past. And you think you go, oh, well, it's Vegas, big deal. It gets cold. It gets windy. Right now in Seattle, the temperature is, in Duval right now, it's 55. Okay. In Duval, it's 55. Guess what the temperature is here? 50.
Dang.
Yeah. Raining in both places.
That's a lot colder than I would. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
No. And dry wind blows right through you. No, this year, the coldest it got on the scaffold this year was 28, I think. I woke up one morning, it was 28. I took a picture. I have a thermometer up there. And it was nasty. There was a day where, the wind will blow 40, 50 miles an hour. It sucks. There are times it just absolutely sucks.
Kind of ups the ante for just the dedication that you're putting into it, the interest, the fact that you're going out there, kind of going through some suffering, like you're saying, definitely creates a little bit, a cooler, just a little more interest in that type of thing, as opposed to a stunt, like you were saying.
Yeah, and when we first started it too, and as it grew, it really became, for a lot of people, it became their tradition. And when you donate, you get an ornament. So there are some people who have a collection of all the ornaments. What color are the ornaments this year? They're really excited about it. We do, how you get the I voted sticker, during an election.
Yeah.
We have I gave stickers.
Just that other extra engagement token for people.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sponsored by Albertsons Vaughn, which is Safeway in Seattle. I'm super proud of it. And just so you know, again, everybody knows I'm a Seahawks fan. So the Niner fans, there's a group of Niner fans, they call themselves the Faithful, and the North Valley Faithful, always on the last Sunday of Toy Drive, they get good and liquored up, watching their game, and then they come and torture me. They come and freaking torture me. And during the early 2010s, when it was Kaepernick and those guys, and when Russell had first come to Seattle and Richard Sherman and everything, and so we're merciless towards each other, but we love each other because of it. Yeah, Raider fan. No, it's. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the Raiders fans always show up. It's good to have those kind of razzing rivalries with each other, right?
Oh, and that goes back to the old AFC West days. All of that. Probably screwed myself out of a Raider gig because I told Mark Davis, who I do still work. I do work for the Aces, which Mark Davis owns the Aces. Now I do PA during the summer for the Aces. I told Mark how one time his dad was at the Kingdom back in the day. I did music at the Kingdom. Again, that's how old I am. But I was a very young man. But yeah, his dad thought that we were putting crowd noise into the Kingdom and thought that I wasn't turning the music on quick enough. And actually we ended up in something of an altercation. I thought it was pretty funny. And I actually really respected Davis because of that. You know what I mean? Who's going to be that passionate? What owner? Again, that's why I love Todd Wiki and I love Victor Dubonis, because they're passionate. They're there, you know, just about every game. And they're a part of it. They're in the middle of it. Al Davis was in the middle of it, you know, and I appreciated it.
Very cool stuff. So just to kind of reiterate, the toy drive, really awesome. And again, like I said, I don't know if a lot of people in the Seattle market are as familiar with that. So I just kind of wanted to reemphasize that. Widely recognized as the world's largest single location toy drive. So, and I read that on the website, so I'm just kind of quoting that. But that's really cool stuff. Inspiring. You know, we've got a few groups here that are new, fan groups and things like that. 32 Crew, one of them. They did a toy drive. I tried to participate in that. They did a great job. They've been doing some food drives, and you know, they're one of the many in the market here. So it's really cool to see that the community coming together to help others out, especially during some tough times and economic times and things like that. But yeah, that's all amazing, and keep it up. Obviously, it's, you know, probably not a lot of fun to get up there on the scaffolding, but I'm going to look forward to it the next year when you go do that. Maybe I'll chirp you a little bit too. But yeah, let's talk left. A little bit.
I might have one left in me. I had to miss the Winnipeg game this year. I had to miss that Winnipeg game because it's a funny story too. I made him move it this year, because otherwise I would have missed that early. It's usually the Thursday after Thanksgiving to 12 days after to the second Monday after that. So I literally came off the scaffold on the 19th. Came off the scaffold on the 19th. Went home, took a shower, kissed my wife, and went and got on a plane. I caught a 5:00 flight to Seattle because we played St. Louis on the 20th. So yeah, you think
fast turnaround.
I don't care, you know, but that's it's totally worth it.
Yeah, that passion definitely coming through, and I think we are lucky here in the Seattle market to have you again, part of, you know, sports and the Kraken. Let's talk a little bit about in-game experience at Climate Pledge Arena. I got a few kind of quick questions for you, and then we're gonna, at the end, I like to do rapid fire, you know, a little bit more lighthearted questions and kind of fun. Test you there because I got a few of those ready. But in-game presentation this year, and I have a clip. I don't think you're going to be able to hear the audio as I play it here, but you can watch that back. First of all, you know, the evolution of the in-game experience.
Should I be scared? Should I be frightened?
No. This is really just, you know, it's the intro, and it's the Beastie Boys song, Sabotage, and your lead into that. So I'll switch over to that real quick. And just kind of my first question here as this plays, I'll keep the audio down. Like I said, I don't think you're going to hear this. It may not actually show up. So maybe we'll just talk to it in general. But the Beastie Boys intro song, Sabotage, Perfection.
Probably not a question for me. That's probably a question for DJ's side. Yeah. Yeah.
But so alongside that, you know, you talked about kind of doing rehearsal and getting all the coordination and how this lines up and times up, and just, you know, the impact that it has this year as the team is skating out. It's just electric, Chet. And I know they tried a few different variations of this. I hope they stick with this version of it because it is amazing. I don't know your thoughts on that.
Well, and if it was me, I probably wouldn't have chosen Sabotage. And as a guy that has been in that seat, I would not have chosen Sabotage only because I would have gone Beastie Boys. I don't know.
Right.
I'm so glad they did it. It's funny as you're talking about time. I have 2 cues that I have to hit. And stuff like that is fun for me because of being radio. So it's easy. So it's pretty easy for me to find that rhythm and hit the spot that I'm supposed to hit. I have 2 things that I have to hit. Yeah. Number one is every time it's time to release the Kraken.
Yeah.
With the tentacle slap at the end, that's live every time. That's live every time. and we could record it. I love doing it live. Then out of that is the initial Seattle, everybody on your feet. And at first it was going to be everybody on your feet and welcome to the deep, your Seattle Kraken, and try and do it all at once to hit my goal, for lack of a better term, but my objective should be Kraken as the goaltender's skate hits the ice. Now, these are all just silly things. So number one, got to look for Bjorky walking, because once Bjorky's walking, then they're coming, because Bjorky's the one that's when they go.
Again, those rituals, those routines, right?
Jones is much closer to the door than Grubauer is, and Jones walks faster than Grubauer. You have to be aware of that in that instance. And it was a little interesting because it just didn't, at first it would be release the Kraken, slam, and then music would start, and there'd kind of be a lull. There'd be a little baby lull there.
Before they showed up.
Yeah, because you're trying to time it to when the team hits the ice, when the goaltender hits the ice. So we decided that the lull was better served as a cheering point. So Seattle, everybody on your feet. And then they come and they cheer, right?
Yeah.
So then kind of a natural fill there. Hopefully by that time, 22 is making a move towards the ice. And then, and welcome to the deep. Now there've been a couple of times where we've gone just shade early, just a baby bit early, because because maybe you think Bjorkstrand's coming and it was a Bjorkstrand. Here he comes now, but whatever. But where I've had to hold out the your Seattle, come on, Kraken, and then go. But there's I'm not gonna lie to you again. I don't get to talk about this stuff very much. There's just nothing better. There's just nothing better. It's God. Everybody should get to do it. Everybody should get to do it once, and then every period, to release the Kraken. And I know there've been a few. Some of the old schoolers. Are we gonna release the Kraken every period? You damn right we are. You damn right.
Yes, we are.
And by the way, that's not my choice. But if it is my choice, if I get a vote, you damn right we are. And I will do it. Yeah. I will do it with every bit of excitement, passion, and love as I did it the very first time, because it is the very first time. It is. It's the greatest. I'm telling you, it's the greatest.
Well, it's been really, really effective. It really gets everybody amped up. I've got multiple videos of this, just from our section where we sit, and we love it. It's like I said, the energy, the electricity just gets everybody going. I actually have a couple other quick questions here too. You mentioned the tentacle when it lights up. We did notice this year there's fewer ice shards around the edges of it. I don't know if you know anything about that, or maybe you could ask somebody, but it's just a little bit smaller amount of ice shards coming out of the top of the tentacle and surroundings, probably because of the way that they have to hoist it and the setup and everything, but a little nuance there.
I think your instinct is right there, is spot on. Really don't know. Her name is Stella. I don't know if you know that. Her name is Stella. And it is a girl. That's Mama. She's protected. She's pissed. I just, you see the eye. She's Stella. She's not happy. And I don't want her to.
I didn't realize that.
Oh God, and I love her. I just love her. And so part of my ritual. So I go up, I say hi to Everett and Dave. I pray that I run into on Forsland in the hallway, because I still go. I'm a grown man. I've had a long career in broadcasting. I still go, crap, that's John Forsland. I still have that feel for that. But I pop in, I say hi to Everett and Dave. I hope I run into Forsland. Oh my God, and if I get to see Edzo, that's amazing. Usually there's a comment about whatever JT's wearing, because he's usually looking, just fresh. Then and I'll pop in on DJ side and DJ trunks. We'll see each other. That's where we call them automation. That's where they are. They used to sit behind us, the people that run the Tentacle, and they used to sit behind me. And so before every game, it was a fist bump, and it was bring her home to me. Oh, I'm going to get emotional again.
Bring home Stella.
Well, bring her home to me, because that's the beginning of the game. Now, and here we go. God, I really need to get into therapy, because obviously I've had a lot of this emotion to let loose.
It's good.
But I still go up and bring her home to me. And and then I go see the audio guys down, a little further down. We hang out for a few minutes, and then it's usually head down, because that's when the band plays, then that's my cue to head back down, and then to get ready, and then Strawberry and Angelica and Alexa, what time is it? Time for Kraken warm-ups, and away we go. It's the best.
It's just so much fun. We try to get there as early as we can, take it all in, and wander around the arena. Next time I'm over there, I'll have to drop by your section, say hello, and
where do you sit?
We're in 113, so we're just over from you, really close. And I used to walk over there before I even knew Joshua or DJ Trunks or any of the other people working there. And I don't really know a lot of them, but yeah, I'll definitely come over, say hello, and maybe you can sign the kids' undefeated sign here for the memories. But
what an honor! Oh my God,
cool.
I would love to. What an honor! I'll run you upstairs, and we'll go see if we can see John first.
That'd be very, very cool. Huge fan. Like I said, I do my thing here on YouTube and have a lot of fun with it. Twitter as well, but I'm just a fan like everybody else, and just kind of living out my dreams over here. But Hoist the Colors are kind of a new segment this year. This one came from my buddy Ty. We're curious. I don't remember, or I don't know if you remember, they had the big, huge banner that they unfurled. Mm-hmm. I think it was the first time they tried this out. Maybe again, so, but they haven't really rolled that out. So we were kind of curious about that. So I don't know, maybe put that on your list if you have time to ask somebody, but kind of curious about that. And also, have you met Buoy and spent any time with Buoy yet?
Buoy and I are best friends. Buoy and I, no, Buoy, that's my dude. Buoy comes and shines my head up before every game. Make sure to come through and say hello. And then we share a big hug, and then Buoy's the greatest. And I knew like everything else, you just got to get through those first couple of weeks, and I knew they would love him.
Right.
I knew at first he'd take a beating. Gritty took a beating. Gritty still takes a beating, but it's Gritty is widely recognized as the number one mascot in the NHL, and Buoy's coming for him. Buoy works ridiculously hard at Buoy's craft. Buoy works ridiculously hard at their craft, and had to wait a long time to finally get a chance to be there. And going back to the old banner, there's a lot of stuff. Sometimes stuff doesn't work. Sometimes you try stuff and you just go, I like it. There's, they've been, Hoist the Colors is an interesting thing, because we have the one, they just let me go with the Kraken crew. It's time to rise up. In fact, the actual script, I want to say, says, Kraken crew. It says something about join us as we hoist the colors is what it is.
Yeah.
And I just liked the idea of rise up, because it's a little evangelical. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, and the congregation said amen, and everybody rise up as one, and so they've been really cool about, like, I ad-libbed it, and they went, yeah, we like that. And then literally those last 10 seconds before the horn goes for third period, that's mine. They literally just go, hype them up, go.
Yeah.
It's yours, which is fun, and not a lot of people get that opportunity, and they've been super good to me. I can't tell you how good they've been to me. This silly stuff like the Zamboni riders, the silly stuff like that. I said, hey, at first it was, here's your first intermission Zamboni riders on the riding on the Wafed Bank Electric Zamboni. Please welcome Jessica. And I said, hey, give me 2 lines about Jessica. Tell me something about Jessica. And so then because let's tell their story. And then having it turn into everybody say hi, Jessica. And so everybody goes, hi, Jessica.
Right.
There's nothing better than that. There's just and that was total. They just let me ad-lib it. And there's a lot of people who run a show like that would not allow for that. They would not.
That's great. It gives you a chance to kind of, dip into the creativity a little bit and be in the moment. And maybe the artistry of being public addressed a little bit there. It's, like you said, kind of the emotions coming out a couple of times, lifelong dream. And, you're really making the most of it, Chet. It's been a lot of fun to listen to you and everyone supporting in the whole group there, from the lights, the music, the cabling, the guys up front, the gals up front, so on and so forth. It's just been, as a fan, I couldn't have asked for more. I know obviously growing pains happened first year, brand new arena, new equipment, all that stuff. And I think people were pretty understanding as we went through all that. And even, like supply issues and getting, they didn't have the right compressor for the goal horn on the first night in the first year. So yeah, it's been cool to watch it slowly change. And I honestly kind of prefer that as, the team identity has built and the community's kind of wrapped their arms around. It's really, really cool stuff. So thanks for weighing in on all that. I do have a few rapid fire questions for you if you're up for it.
Let's go.
This has been a hot topic on my Twitter handle. If you celebrate Christmas, is your Christmas tree still up?
No. And because of travel this year and during the ice storm of early December, my wife broke her foot. We thought it was 2 places. She just had an MRI yesterday, and now we've learned it's in 3 places. She slipped on the ice, and so she stayed behind, and I was solo. So we actually never even had a tree.
Well, hopefully she's on the mend. I'm sorry to hear that, but yeah. So I was surprised that the poll results were a little bit more. I think it was like 60-40 when I reran it on Twitter. So, okay. Dream vacation destination.
Winter Classic.
All right. Couple more here. So this one, Las Vegas. What's your go-to spot in Las Vegas that maybe not a lot of people know about?
The go to Piero's. Piero's is old school. Go to the Golden Steer. There's that's Sinatra joint, Jerry Lewis, all that kind of stuff. So Piero's and Golden Steer are just old school Vegas joints that are really cool. Check with your cardiologist before you either.
What's the last meal you cooked from scratch?
Jeez, this is the funny part. My wife's a chef, so that's been a long time. Let's be real right now. Cooked. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking that there had to have been something while I was up there for the last homestand. By the way, we're so excited that the road trip is coming to an end because we can't wait to get back to Seattle. The question, however, are we still talking about the last meal I cooked? Are we still? Was I able to deflect away from that?
Well, we could do it. I had an alternate here. Yeah, I got
Papa Murphy's Pizza. That's the best I've got for you.
Perfect.
Papa Murphy's Pizza. I prepared from scratch, as close to scratch. I pulled some tortillas out of the refrigerator and ate them with spicy hummus. I think I might have made eggs. I don't know. I think I made a sandwich.
That counts too.
This is good.
You're lucky, it sounds like, to have a chef in your life. That's an important part of the yin and yang of a relationship sometimes. But okay, last one. Now this kind of on the heels of just beating Buffalo. And this is always a hot topic on the internet as well. When it comes to buffalo wings, are you a drums or a flats guy?
I'm a flats guy. I'm a flats guy. Funny story with that too. Alex Tuck scored the first goal for Buffalo the other night, and Alex was a Golden Knight. Alex was one of the few guys that I actually did know here in Vegas. He actually lived in my neighborhood, and we would see each other at the gas station all the time. So I did text him an appropriately inappropriate message the other night when he scored against the Kraken, and he wrote me back after the game and said, "Well, you won in the end, so."
So, this has been a lot of fun today. A lot of topics we covered. The emotions come out a little bit. We're both, I feel the same way. I maybe I'm a little more stoic on this side of things, but I am just as thrilled as you are to have a team in the market. It's a dream come true. So I don't know, maybe if you want to take a couple of minutes here, any last shout outs and thanks and things like that before we wrap up.
Well, and again, it's just you said that people have been really kind, and I'm eternally grateful, and we really do. It really is a blessing to have super talented, and I know everybody says this, but it's to have people who are so incredibly talented, and they're really good humans. I mean, we've got really good people at Climate Pledge. I mean, from the people who do food and beverage to security to the people who are responsible for crowd control and all of that, all the way up to Todd Lewicki. It's good people and really good at what they do, and it makes it that makes it even that much better. And so it's just it's already a lot of fun now, and just know we're working hard to do everything that we absolutely can, to be really great for you. We know no matter what happens on the ice, we want you to walk out of there that night and go, man, that was a good time. And that's I think that's what we hope for, and we're fans too. We really are. We're fans too, and so hopefully you're having a good time, because we are.
Every time I've taken somebody new to a game, maybe their first game ever, the Kraken, or maybe first hockey game in general, it seems like that is the experience that they have, whether it's win or lose. And there was a fair amount of losing last season at Climate Pledge Arena, but they left with a smile on their face, and some things to look forward to in the future as the team continues to evolve. It's been a lot of fun today. Chet, thank you so much for being here. Gotta have you back. Maybe if you want to drop in one of my post-game streams, I do those live. You could jump in, react to the game with me. Probably easier for a road game, of course, because you're in the arena for the home ones. But yeah, we'd love to have you back again, or I'd love to have you back again.
Well, yeah, but honestly, I'm in the car as fast as so. I break my stuff down to try and get out of the way because the audio guys are trying to get their stuff too. So I'm in the car pretty quick. If you want me to cheat on Mike Benton, that's your business. I'm okay, but you're gonna have to deal. Well, actually, I'll have to deal with him if he finds out. But right. But no, I'm happy to do anything that I can whenever I can do it.
It's a different audience altogether, right? YouTubers versus radio listeners. So yeah, I don't think we'd be stepping on any toes there. But thank you again. I've had a lot of fun today. I can't wait to edit this one together, put it together. By the way, if you don't know, you probably don't, but we did lose power during the stream, so a little bit of magic behind the scenes, and we got things running in. So usually magicians or whatever you want to call it don't tell their tricks, but today we had a couple of glitches, but we got through it, and hopefully this is an episode that you guys can enjoy. So thanks again, Chet, and we'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Such an honor, such a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, have a great night.
Let's go Kraken.